Yes.
On the left side is the Shruti, the four Vedas, the Upanishads, the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas, these kind of things. So many different rituals and mantras. That's the Vedas. And on the other side, what's on the other side of the chart?
Smriti.
The Smriti, right.
Rituals.
So Shruti is the hearing process. What is the Smriti process? Shruti was hearing, Smriti is?
From remembrance.
Remembering.
Remembering, right, remembering. Like we said, Shruti is like a mother. You want to know about the father? But ask the mother. We hope she can tell you about the father. And then the Smriti, however, is like the sister. You know, the sister will always tell you what the mother said, right? When you're at home, if you have a sister, the sister will always say, mother said, father said, you know, she's heard everything and she'll remind you. So like that, the Smriti is like the sister. And in the Smriti, what books do we have there? Yogita, what's in the Smriti?
Gurudev, sorry, I don't know.
You were not here yesterday,
No,
right?
I wasn't, sorry.
Okay, what about Hema Champakalata? You can tell us what's in the Smriti. Give me some book which is in the Smriti.
Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yes, Bhagavad Gita. And where does the Bhagavad Gita come from?
Oh, Chai.
Itihasa Mahabharata.
Bhagavad Gita is from where? From which book?
Mahabharata, Itihasa.
From Mahabharata, right, from the Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is Smriti. Ramayana is also Smriti. And what about the Bhagavatam?
Smriti.
Smriti, yes, the Puranas, they're all there. All the Puranas, there are 18 Puranas. 6 for the mode of goodness, 6 for the mode of passion, 6 for the mode of ignorance. So they're all Smriti Puranas. And so the Smriti, actually, we say both are valid. Rupa Goswami gives us a verse which is taken from the Vedas. He said, Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatriki Vidim Vinam, Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir, Utpatayaiva Kaupate. The meaning is that devotional service which is performed without knowledge of the, or not according to the Shruti or the Smriti or the Puranas or the Itihasas, then it's simply a disturbance to society. So we accept our thought, we get knowledge, we take knowledge from both the sides, from both the Shruti and the Smriti. But there are a class of people who only take the knowledge from the Shruti. What are these people called? Anybody know the name?
Transcendental Mayavadis.
Mayavadis, maybe, yes. Yes, could be called Mayavadis. Another name?
Jnanis.
Gyanis, okay. Another name? Yes, what? Vedantis.
Vedantis, yeah.
Yeah, Vedantis. In Prabhupada's lecture talks about it. He uses the word Vedantis. They only accept the Shruti. So this is one of the reasons why Srila Prabhupada published this book, the Śrī Īśopaniṣad, because there are a class of people known as Vedantis or Gyanis or maybe Mayavadis. We may call them Mayavadis. They don't usually call themselves Mayavadis. They may call themselves Gyanis or Vedantis. They only accept the Shruti. They only accept the original Vedas, which include the Upanishad, but they won't accept Bhagavad Gita. They won't accept Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you're preaching to them, you have to quote verses from the Vedas or from the Upanishads. Very important. Therefore, Prabhupada wrote his commentary on the different mantras of the Īśopaniṣad. And he published this book, Śrī Īśopaniṣad, so that people who are fond of the Vedic knowledge, who are Vedantis, and who are Gyanis and like that, they can also get Krishna consciousness. Because Prabhupada gives a Vaishnava commentary. One devotee was telling me, he said, they were with Prabhupada one time when they were reading the Bhagavad Gita. And they read a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. And a devotee said to Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, you know that the Mayavadis, the impersonalists, they give exactly the same translation of this verse. It's no different from your translation. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, the verse may be the same, the translation is the same, but the commentary is not. We give the Vaishnava commentary. So similarly, Prabhupada gave his commentary on each of the mantras in the Īśopaniṣad. And within his commentary or his purport to each of the mantras, he has given the Krishna conscious philosophy. So this is a very important reason why Srila Prabhupada published the Śrī Īśopaniṣad. Does everyone understand this point?
Yes, Guruji.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Anybody has any questions about this?
Yes, Maharaj.
Anybody has any problem, any problem with this? No problem? It's an important point. We want to, because that's one of the essay questions. They say, you know, Prabhupada's purpose in presenting the Īśopaniṣad. Now that's only one reason Prabhupada presented it, was to give people who are Vedantis that they can also get Krishna consciousness. Now, another reason why Prabhupada also presented this Īśopaniṣad is to bring people from the impersonal platform to the personal platform. Because as we go through the verses of this Īśopaniṣad, you'll see that in the beginning, the verses are somewhat impersonal. They don't speak about any real personality of Godhead. But as we go further on, as we come towards the end of the mantras, remember there are 18 mantras, and as we come to the last few verses of the Īśopaniṣad, we will see there's more indication of a personality there. So this is another reason why Prabhupada presented the Īśopaniṣad, to bring people from impersonalism up to the platform of personalism. that they can actually become devotees. They can understand the personal feature of the Lord. Very important. Of course, one other reason is Prabhupada's purports and Prabhupada's writings are always very open and clear and accessible to everyone. Some people write in a very scholarly manner. I remember one time I met some people here in India. They were telling me they were reading books by a person called Aurobindo. And they would read, they said, we just try to understand what he's saying. You know, they just try to, in other words, so difficult to understand what he's writing about. So some people write like that. Their writings are just so mystifying. You don't know what they're talking about. But Prabhupada's writing is very clear. And the meanings are very direct. So this is one of Prabhupada's great contributions, that he made the Vedic literature, such as the Upanishad, he made it understood by everyone, even lay people like ourselves, that we can understand the purpose behind this. Now, one thing also we spoke about yesterday was the purpose of the Upanishads in the Vedic literature. Does anyone remember this? What was the purpose of the Upanishads in the Vedic
To bring
literature?
us closer to the Supreme.
I'm sorry, you have to say again.
To bring us closer to the Supreme.
Well, that's the meaning of the word Upanishad.
Oh, okay.
That was the actual meaning of the word Upanishad. That knowledge which brings us closer to the Supreme. Okay, but there's still another purpose behind the Upanishads and its function there in the Vedic writings. And we did quote, we had a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, from the second chapter, from a purport there. Prabhupada talked about this, the function of the Upanishads. Anyone remember?
To reveal the confidential knowledge?
No, not exactly. Nobody remember. What I'll do, I'll go back to the PowerPoint and we'll show you the PowerPoint again. And you,
The Upanishad marked the beginning of transcendental life.
thank you. Yes. The Upanishads marks the beginning of transcendental life, right? Because before the Upanishads, what was there? What kind of knowledge was there before you came to transcendental life?
Material life.
Material life, okay, but what kind of material? What were they concerned with?
Karma Kanda.
Karma Kanda, right. People may have been following the Vedas, and the Vedas certainly deal a lot with what is called Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda means the path of fruitive activity, enjoying the results of the work. And that's what people want. Pious people may be a little pious, they read the Vedas, but what they want, maybe they want to go to heaven, they want a long life, they want opulence, you know, they have material desires, right? So the Upanishads mark the beginning of transcendental knowledge, above the path of Karma Kanda. And the Upanishads is the first step in transcendental knowledge. It's not the highest. There's much more. You have to go on. But it's the beginning of transcendental knowledge. So this is a function of the Upanishads in the Vedic writings. Okay, so Did you manage to have a look over that article which I sent you?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Sorry, Yogita Radha here.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Gurudev, I haven't received that article that you had sent forth. But Gurudev, I had a question, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Gurudev, we consider Bhagavad Gita to be important and it comes from the Mahabharata. But at the same time, we don't give importance to Mahabharata. How do I explain that if ever need be?
Well, the important part of the Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a part of the Mahabharata, and that is the real important part of the Mahabharata.
Mm.
You have to understand that Mahabharata is describing a lot of karmakandi, ritualistic activities also. It's dealing a lot with, you know, rituals and different acts of sacrifice and austerity. Is not really talking about the ultimate goal of knowledge. Jiva Goswami pointed out, he said, no one ever got love of God from the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata is just for, you know, it's for less intelligent people. Less intelligent people, they can get benefit from reading the Mahabharata. And it bring them to the Vedic path. It brings them towards the Vedic path, you see. But it's not the highest knowledge. So we don't spend a lot of time with the Mahabharata. We take only what's the important part. Just like the swan can take the milk from the mixture of water and milk. And so the Bhagavad Gita is the real main part of the Mahabharata. The most important part.
Understood, Gurudev. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so I did want to show you some points about that article on where is it? Yeah, okay, here we are. Right, this is the article. It's taken from Back to Godhead, was published in Back to Godhead. A devotee named Satyaraj, Prabhupada disciple, who writes a lot of articles. He wrote about the importance of the Śrī Īśopaniṣad, the importance of the Śrī Īśopaniṣad. Why did Prabhupada write this book? Why did he publish this book? We should know, that he points out, and it's particularly mentioned at the end of the article where he talks about it. He says, oh, just a minute. Do you all have this article? Wait, I'll put it on screen sharing for you all. Okay, can you see it? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Gurudev.
Can everyone see the article?
Can see, Maharaj can magnify it, Maharaj. Make it bigger.
Oh, you want me to make it bigger? Oh, you know, I'm not very good at these things. My God, I don't know how to do this. Okay, can you read it now?
Yeah, okay, Maharaj. Can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, can see, Maharaj.
This is the last paragraph of the article. To sum up, Srila Prabhupada's translation with commentary of Śrī Īśopaniṣad accomplishes many ends. One is to bring out Krishna conscious conclusions. It uses a traditional text accepted by all classes of Vedic scholars. Right? What is that traditional text accepted by all classes of Vedic scholars? What will that text be?
Shruti? The text that belongs to Shruti.
Yeah, what is being talked about here? I just want to make sure you can understand.
Veda?
The Īśopaniṣad itself. The Īśopaniṣad, the Śrī Īśopaniṣad is a traditional text and it's accepted by all classes of Vedic scholars. So Prabhupada wants to bring out a Krishna conscious conclusion from it. Because these other people, the Vedantists, the Jnanis, the Mayavadis, they may read it and they only get some impersonal conclusion. They don't get the Krishna conscious conclusion. So Srila Prabhupada takes the book and he uses it to bring out a Krishna conscious conclusion. Okay? Then the second point, in addition, it methodically takes its readers from the impersonal concept of the Absolute to an awareness of the Supreme Personality of God. In the beginning, the Īśopaniṣad, it seems to be talking about the impersonal. You will see when we go through the verses that they don't talk about any personality. It seems to be that the Absolute must be impersonal. But at the end of the book, it becomes personal. And then the third reason, more than all this, it delivers ultimate spiritual wisdom in an accessible form, which in fact is the virtue of all of Srila Prabhupada's books. Okay? So 3 reasons have been given there why Prabhupada published this Īśopaniṣad. Ultimate spiritual wisdom in an accessible form means it's not difficult for us to understand. We're going through it. I hope you will all understand it, at least by the time we finish this course. So we've got 2 weeks or 3 weeks maybe to finish this. So I pray that you will all understand this book by the time we finish this course. So please note this, 3 reasons there why Prabhupada published this commentary on the Īśopaniṣad. Why this book is so important. This book is on the level, it's as important for us as the Bhagavad Gita and the nectar of devotion and the nectar of instruction, but also Śrī Īśopaniṣad, very important. Okay? Everybody happy with this?
Okay, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Let's go back to the PowerPoint.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Where am I?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. May I ask a question? I don't think Maharaj can hear me. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. May I ask a question?
Maharaj, somebody want to ask question, Maharaj?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Okay. This Śrī
Okay, I'll leave
Īśopaniṣad
my question
PowerPoint.
for another day.
Take it from
Hare
the
Krishna,
beginning.
Maharaj, somebody want to ask question, Maharaj?
Go through it just to make sure you all got it, everything. Right?
Gurudev,
We're going to go through these lessons.
he can't hear us.
First of all, here you have the 3 pramanas. And the one we put the faith and trust in, the Shabda, hearing from the authority, very powerful. Of course, we have to have the bona fide authority. We have to know who is the authority. So what is what kind of authority? Who are the authorities for us? Anybody like to say? Who should we hear from?
Senior devotees.
Let's hear from somebody who hasn't spoken. Punita. Punita Mataji.
Yes,
Is it Mataji or is it Prabhu? I don't know.
it's a Mataji.
Punita,
Yes, Maharaj.
can you tell us?
Can you hear me?
What about Gayatri? Nobody's speaking tonight.
Maharaj,
Krishna Premi Devi Dasi.
Maharaj cannot hear, I think. Can hear, Maharaj?
Radha Amalrik. What is their thought? Who are these authorities? Tell me one authority. Narayan Prabhu, help me out here.
Krishna.
An authority? Narayan.
Somebody had to put a text.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Maharaj, can you hear me, Maharaj?
Can't hear you, Narayan.
Maharaj, we can't hear you, Maharaj. Oh, can you hear us? Hare Krishna,
Can you hear
Maharaj.
me, everyone?
No, you can't hear.
Hare Krishna.
We can hear, Maharaj, but you can hear us or not, Maharaj?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Can you hear us, Maharaj?
Now I've just heard you.
You can hear us, Maharaj?
Huh?
Maharaj, can you hear us? Can you hear me, Maharaj?
Now I can hear you. Yeah, I just heard you. I couldn't hear you for a while there.
Maharaj was asking question, everyone answering. So probably Maharaj not.
I couldn't hear any answers.
Krishna.
Everyone answering, Maharaj.
We can.
Well, you'll have to tell me, who are the authority? What did they say?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, is it Guru, Sadhu and Shastra?
Yes, very good, right. Yes, Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. And what are these Shastra?
The Vedas?
Yeah, the Vedas. Only the Vedas? What else?
All Īśopaniṣad.
Yeah, well, Upanishad's part of the Vedas. Only the Vedas?
All the Puranas.
Yeah, Puranas also. Which Purana in particular?
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Bhagavad Purana, yes, Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavad Gita also. These are our authorities. Prabhupada often quoting Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, sometimes also quoting from Upanishads, from the Vedas.
Maharaj, this Chaitanya Charitamrita falls under what, Maharaj?
Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is Bhakti Shastras, that is definitely not Shruti. It's more recent, you see, the Chaitanya Charitamrita is more recent, 500 years ago. We call these Bhakti Shastras. It would be Chaitanya Smriti, not Shruti. Generally, the Chaitanya Charitamrita is quoting Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes Bhagavad Gita, and other different references also. Okay, so we have to hear from the authority, right? We give the example. Imperfect senses, 4 defects, right? The 4 defects. You know all this. We talked about the lady, these pictures, make mistakes. And then, Guru Bhakti, we didn't speak about, okay. But Prabhupada spoke about them. All these defects, we cannot give perfect knowledge. We're not perfect, but if we quote from the Vedas is perfect. So we accept the Vedas. Very important, hear from the Vedas. And then here the quote, Vedas deal mostly with fruitive activity to gradually bring people from the field of sense gratification to the transcendental plane. So when the Karma Kandi chapter is finished, then the chance for spiritual realization is offered in the form of the Upanishads. The Upanishads, the beginning of transcendental life, right? And here's our chart. The Shruti, the Smriti. On the bottom here, you have the 6 darshans, the 6 different philosophical systems. We would like to know, and sometimes we see Krishna himself present them. For example, Krishna presents Vedanta in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna speaks how everything is described in Vedanta Sutra. And then when Lord Krishna is preaching to his father, he presents also the Mimamsa, Karma Mimamsa from Jaimini. Lord Chaitanya, as a young man, he was a scholar, he was preaching logic. Here you have Patanjali Yoga, Sankhya, Kapila, and Vaisheshika, Kannada. So these 6 different philosophical systems make up what is called the 6 darshans, the 6 different ways of viewing the Absolute. Here, the Puranas, we have 3 in the mode of good, 6 in the mode of goodness, 6 in the mode of passion, 6 in the mode of ignorance. So you can see it's quite detailed, quite complex, many different. We are giving the fruit of all the Vedas. What is the fruit of all the Vedas? The fruit of the Vedas is?
Srimad Bhagavatam, Gurudev.
Yes, Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, very right. Nigama Kalpa Taror Galitam Palam. In Srimad Bhagavatam it's stated, the Vedas is like a tree of knowledge. And the important part of the tree is the fruit. And the fruit of the tree is the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? The ripened fruit of all the Vedas. So we want to understand these things, having some appreciation for the Vedic knowledge, the different Vedic scriptures. We don't need to know great detail about it, but we should understand the Shruti, Smriti. So we accept Shruti and we also accept Smriti, but the other people, they only like Shruti. So sometimes we have to also preach using Shruti. You have to know quotes also. So Īśopaniṣad can give us some good quotes to use in preaching if you meet a Vedanta or that kind of scholar. Okay, Prabhupada says, therefore, Vedanta Sutra is known as Nyaya Prasthana. Vedanta Sutra. Veda means knowledge, and Vedanta means the end of knowledge. And the Sutra means it's condensed. It's cooked just like milk, condensed milk. You boil all the water off, the milk becomes very thick. So the Vedas, there was so much knowledge, so many books, so many things. So Vyasadeva was told to write Vedanta Sutra. And in Vedanta Sutra, he gave the essence, the main points of the philosophy of the Vedas. But because it's very condensed, very difficult to understand. Very difficult to understand. Not if many people, they like to read it, Vedanta Sutra. And all the great acharyas, they all have their commentary on the Vedanta. Shankaracharya also has a famous commentary on Vedanta. But the Vaishnavas, they also have their commentary. Baladeva Vidyabhusan, he wrote the Gaudiya Vaishnav commentary on Vedanta. The Ramanujas, they have their commentary. Madhvacharya has a commentary. So Vedanta Sutra is called Nyaya Prasthana, logic. Nyaya meaning logic, the evidence of logic, understanding everything on the basis of logic. The Upanishads are called Shruti Prasthana. And the Gita, Mahabharata, Puranas are known as Smriti Prasthana. So 3 different kinds of prasthana there. People sometimes ask us, do we study Vedanta? So, how do we study Vedanta? We get knowledge of the Vedanta from Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is actually Vyasadev's own commentary on Vedanta. Srila Vyasadeva wrote Vedanta Sutra, and then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam was written after he got instructed by his guru, Narada Muni, because he'd written so many books. He was not satisfied. When you read the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, you can read when he wrote the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can read how he wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam under the direction of his guru Narada Muni. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is Vyasadev's own commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And we also have Baladeva Vidyabhusan's commentary on it. So generally we simply study Srimad Bhagavatam. Mayavadi philosophers accept only the Nyaya Prasthana, meaning the Vedanta, and they accept also the Shruti, but they don't accept the Smriti. Means they don't accept Bhagavad Gita, they don't accept Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Krishna consciousness movement is completely authorized from Vedic principle. The Vedic principle, based on authority. The Vedas are infallible knowledge. They come from the Lord himself. Nobody can argue with the Vedas. Prabhupada gives an example. He talks about the stool. In the Vedas it said, stool is very contaminating. If you contact stool, one should immediately take bath. But it also says the stool of the cow is antiseptic. Everything in the stool of the cow is antiseptic, and we can use it to purify a place. So this appears to be contradictory. Yes, it is a contradiction, but it's based on the absolute truth. It's a fact that the stool of the cow is antiseptic. There's nothing contaminating in the stool of the cow. It's very purifying. But the stool of any other living entity, even it may be a Brahmana, it's not like the stool of the cow. The stool of the cow is special. And this is based on Vedic knowledge. It's a Vedic principle. So we accept the Vedas. Krishna consciousness, we follow the Vedic principles. We accept all the knowledge of the Vedas as being absolute, perfect. You cannot argue, cannot challenge the Vedic knowledge, perfect knowledge. Okay, so just to review, overview of the Vedic literature and Upanishads. We were just looking at the Upanishads and the Vedic literature. And why Prabhupada published Śrī Īśopaniṣad? Everyone's got it? They know this now? The 3 reasons, right? To make the knowledge, to give this Vedic knowledge, help people who study this Vedic knowledge that they can get the Krishna conscious conclusion, and to bring people from the impersonal path to the personal path, and to also enlighten people with Krishna conscious philosophy. 3 types of evidence, pramanas. We talked about that, the 4 defects of the conditioned soul. The reasons for accepting Vedic authority. I'm just speaking about that now. I was just speaking how that infallible source of knowledge coming from the Lord himself. Vedic knowledge, we say, Tenhe Brahma Adikavaye, Tenhe Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. The Vedic knowledge was imparted into the heart of Brahma, the beginning of creation. It is aparushya. It's not coming from any ordinary person. It's coming from the Lord himself. And so it's free of any defects of a conditioned soul. Many people write books. They have their books on philosophy, their conclusion, but they're conditioned souls. They're not perfect. But we take the Vedic knowledge, that is perfect knowledge. And we accept that as authority. And we give the example, just like the stool of the cow and the conch shell also. Generally bones are impure. We don't want to keep them. But the conch shell we keep on the altar. We use it in the worship of the deity, because the conch shell is different from other bones. This is a Vedic principle. So the Vedic authority is very important. The Vedic authority ensures that whatever we're speaking is perfect knowledge. The Vedic knowledge is there since the beginning of the creation. No one can find any fault. No one can challenge the Vedic knowledge. Everything in it is perfect knowledge. And of course, people do challenge some things like, did they go to the moon? Because according to the Vedic knowledge, they couldn't really go to the moon. And so at the time, when they were going to the moon, you know, when they were talking that, oh, they're going to the moon, when Prabhupada watched the so-called moon landing, Prabhupada said, that's not the moon. That couldn't be the moon. Because according to the Vedas, the moon is a heavenly planet. But they showed when they were landing on the moon, it was like a desert, just dust. And we see, so long ago, 50 years have passed, nobody went back to the moon. It's all, you know, it was all politics, it was all cheating and lying, so many things. We accept the Vedic authority. Vedic authority is infallible. And when we follow the Vedic authority, you can be sure that it's correct. So Vedic authority is accepted by all the great sages. Lord Krishna himself taught this. We give the example, you want to know who your father is? You have to hear from your mother. She's the proper authority. She knows who is the father. Oh, appropriate expression of our Guru Bhakti in public forums. This is a little off the topic. Somehow it got in here. I can't remember, but usually this comes into the class on the disciple course. but appropriate expressions of Guru Bhakti in public forums. Generally, appropriate expressions mean when we glorify the spiritual master, we don't want to get carried away and be sentimental. We want to be realistic and simply express an appropriate appreciation for your spiritual master in terms of his what service he's actually done for the Krishna conscious movement, or what kind of responsibilities he takes in the Krishna consciousness movement. Don't go into elaborate details and don't get carried away using your own sentimental appreciations, how he's so wonderful and so on like that, but just simply speak realistically what is actually done and what his achievements are. Okay, we won't go into that too much. Okay, so I'm pretty much covered the introduction now. Are there any questions on it before we go on to the invocation?
Maharaj,
yes,
I want to know whether reading other scriptures on Vedic knowledge like yoga, Sankhya, each other, is it okay for ISKCON devotees?
ISKCON devotees are expected to follow Srila Prabhupada. First they should read Srila Prabhupada's books.
Okay.
They should first of all have made a good study of all of Srila Prabhupada's books, meaning Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, as well as the Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Shastri. When we've made a proper study of Srila Prabhupada's books, then you may, with the permission of your spiritual master, consider studying other books. But generally, if we want to know about yoga or Sankhya, you get information on that within Srila Prabhupada's books. Sankhya philosophy is described. We have Lord Kapila in the 3rd canto Srimad Bhagavatam. We also have Sankhya philosophy discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. You want to know about yoga? That's also there in Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. You don't need to go to other books to read these things.
Okay, Maharaj.
Prabhupada's books are very detailed and they cover all the 6 different philosophical systems. It's all there within Prabhupada's books. If you simply study Prabhupada's books, you'll get it there. If it's not in Prabhupada's books, it's not very important. Is everybody hearing? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Maharaj, can you hear?
Okay,
Yes.
I'm always worried I've lost it. Okay, you can hear all right. Okay, any other questions there?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Could you explain a little bit about the impersonal features believed by the Mayavadis and Jnananis? Can you provide examples to what are the impersonal features that they believe?
Well, we'll come to that in a few verses. When we go into the mantras, you'll see in the mantras that they use impersonal descriptions to describe the absolute. For the Lord, the Lord is described that he walks, but he doesn't. He's far away, but he's very near as well. He's within everything, but he's outside of everything. Like this. Yeah, we'll come to this. I will spend quite a bit of time on this. So that's definitely going to come up. You'll hear about what is the impersonal features of the absolute. Okay. So let's go ahead into the invocation. Go up to the part. Has everyone, you've all got text, right? You've all got some text on this?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we have.
Uh-huh. Oh, I didn't do the fonts yet. I don't know if you can read this. I forgot, I haven't had time to change the fonts. Anyway, maybe many of you may know this verse. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Right? This invocation, this is actually not part of the Īśopaniṣad. This is just something to introduce us to the Īśopaniṣad. This verse is actually, it's a Vedic mantra, and it's often chanted. You will often hear it, different temples, and when they do the processions, and the Brahmins are all reciting mantras. It's very common to hear this one. So we do want to know it. I think this is also one of your memorization slokas, which you have to learn, right? So everyone, you can say it again. Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam. Everyone, let me hear you.
Purnam Purnam Idam.
Ada Purnam Idam.
Purnat Purnam Udachyate.
Purnam Udachyate.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnameva Vashishyate. Okay, very good. This is an important verse. So, Om Purnam Ada. Om. Om, of course, the Mayavadis, Jnanis, Vedantas, they like to chant Om. They think of God as Om, the complete whole. You know this? And we also say Om is the sound vibration of Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. So Vedic mantras, Om, Nama Om, like that, it's often there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om, it comes up everywhere. We begin the mantras with Om. So Om means the complete whole. Purnam, perfectly complete. Purnam. Om Purnam, perfectly complete. The complete whole is perfectly complete. Ada, that. Om Purnam Ada. Purnamidam, right? The complete whole. That complete whole. An important point to understand this. Complete whole. Complete whole is perfectly complete. Should be, right? It's the complete whole. It should be perfectly complete. Everything there. No incompleteness. Oh, I wish I was complete. We're often incomplete, right? We feel incompleteness. Complete whole must contain everything. Prabhupada explains here from the text. If he were formless, or if he were less than his creation in any way, he could not be complete. The complete whole must contain everything, both within and beyond our experience. Otherwise, it cannot be complete. If he were formless, if he has no form, then we have a form, we're greater than him. So if he has no form and we have a form, then we are greater than him. So Prabhupada says very nicely, he must contain everything, both within and beyond our experience. Otherwise, it cannot be complete. Om Purnam Ada Purnam Idam. Purnam Idam. Perfectly complete. This phenomenal world is perfectly complete. All emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. So we're describing how the phenomenal world, in other words, this material world is phenomenal. It's something we can experience by our senses. It's all coming, it emanated from him. It all came from him. And it's perfectly equipped. It's all complete. Everything is there. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. So we said the material world, the phenomenal world, was produced from the complete whole. The complete whole, Om, which means Krishna. So whatever was produced is complete. It's complete in itself. Just like when a mother gives birth to a baby, the baby's complete. You know, the baby has arms and legs and eyes, and can do everything. Yeah, it's complete. The same way the Supreme Lord, from him, creates the phenomenal world. Now we ask you a little exercise from you. Give some examples from nature of the completeness of this world. What you can do, take a partner, work in pairs. Especially it's easier for you, maybe you're two people at home. Maybe a little difficult. Kripa Sindhu, are you able to put people into pairs or into rooms? Kripa Sindhu, Prabhu, are you there? No? Okay. Anyway, if you have somebody there to work with, it's good if you work with a partner and discuss. Otherwise, think on your own. Give some examples from nature about the completeness of this world. Can you think of anything? Just take a few minutes, think about some things, see what you can come up with.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, can you give an example of what is the meaning of nature of completeness?
Well, I did give an example. I spoke about a baby when the baby's born, how the baby's complete.
Ah, all right.
We have also the example of the world, how this, from all these different planets which emanate from the Supreme Lord, that they're also complete. They're not lacking in anything. Everything is there. If you think the world is incomplete, then give me your example. How is the world incomplete? If you have difficulty to think how it's complete, tell me why it's not complete. Give me your example. In what way do you think the world is not complete?
Maharaj, can I just give a try?
Yes. Okay, Prabhu. Who is this? Who's
Maharaj,
speaking?
for example, this material.
Who's speaking?
Rukmanipati, Maharaj.
Rukmanipati. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, go ahead.
Rukmanipati.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Maharaj. Like, for example, this material world is incomplete. We are like, for example, nothing is eternal here. Everything is temporary. So is that can be used as one example?
What? You're saying everything is incomplete?
I mean to say that, yeah, something like that, Maharaj. This material world is incomplete.
Because it's temporary.
Because it is only temporary. It's only, yes.
Well, I wouldn't, can we say it's incomplete? It's a different point. You're talking something, you're saying it's not eternal, so therefore it's not complete. I don't know what that is. Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj.
We cannot say that the world is incomplete just because it's temporary.
Okay.
It's the manifestations are temporary, but we're eternal, right? As spirit souls,
yeah,
and
yeah, spirits, yes.
And similarly, the material world also, material energy is also eternal, but it's manifest sometimes, and sometimes it's unmanifest.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Okay, Maharaj.
Yes, Kripa Sindhu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My name is Suryanga Chaitanya.
Sorry?
Maharaj. My name is Suryanga Chaitanya.
Okay.
I want to, regarding the quantity of water in this world is always same. Either it exists in the water vapor, in the rain, or rivers, wherever it is, but the amount of water in this world is always the same.
Okay. That's an example. Therefore, the water is complete, right?
Yes.
We can take a lot of water out. We may take a lot of water out of the ocean, but still the ocean remains the same. There may be a drought. There may be a drought for a long time. There may be no rain, but still there's water. It appears like there's a drought, or sometimes it appears like there's so much rain. Maybe rain, like just now in India, there was so much rain, but still it's not flooding. We're not flooding, not a problem. So the water is there, the ocean, the rivers, the Ganga is flowing into the sea. So much water is flowing into the sea from the Ganga, but the ocean remains the same. Okay, so that's one example of completeness. Another example?
How about the parts of the body, Maharaj?
Yes.
If, like, for example, a hand, if detached from the body, is that not complete? So all the human body is complete.
Yes, right. The human body is complete. That so many functions are there within the body to take care of the body. All the different, and not only for the human body, but for all the other living entities also.
Yeah.
Their bodies are also complete. The dog has his body, it's also complete. The mouth is arranged in a particular way, just like the pig. The pig he eats certain kind of food, and they have a particular mouth shaped for that type of food. And similarly, the tiger, he will eat a different kind of food. So he has a different mouth, a different nature for eating his food. Different animals, different living entities, their bodies are designed to suit their way of living and their way of eating. This is completeness. The arrangement is there. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, what about having 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of darkness during the night time? Is that an example of completeness?
Yes, we could say that the daylight is necessary, but if we were to have daylight 24 hours a day, then that would be a problem. There has to be some balance there. If it's all day and 24 hours a day, every day, just sunlight, just imagine what it would be like. It would be very exhausting, tiring, and we would long for the darkness. And so we're given the opportunity that we have the arrangement, the design of the universe is made in such a way that we get day and night. And similarly, also we get the seasons in the year, the winter and the summer, which make arrangements for more completeness of the world, particularly when it comes to agriculture, to growing things. There has to be a particular season to produce things. There's a season for planting, there's a season for harvesting. Different fruits grow at different times of the year according to the climate.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, is the durian season now?
It's what season now?
Durian season.
Oh, durian season. Really? Oh, okay. If you like durian. Oh. Anybody else? Anybody like to challenge about the incompleteness of the world? Somebody become the devil's advocate and challenge how the world is not complete. What are some of the problems? What could we say?
We are incomplete because we cannot fly by ourselves.
We're meant to fly, are we? Well, you like to fly. Next life, you can get the body like a bird. You can fly.
No, thank you. No.
You like to fly, you have a bird's body. You don't, human body is not meant for flying. We're meant to be walking on the earth, on the ground. That's our nature. It's where we belong. We're not meant for flying around, actually. No, one kind of incompleteness, we could argue that there's poverty in the world. We could say, you know, if this world is so complete, why is there poverty? Why are like people in so much difficulty and so on? They're suffering so much. Doesn't this indicate an incompleteness? Would anyone like to challenge on this? Can you defend this? Can you take up this argument? Can you defeat it?
Yes,
Gurudev,
Maharaj, due to
may I say
past
something?
karma,
Let me, who else wants to say before Yogi said somebody else? Have we got? Someone else? Ram Gopinath?
Yeah, yes, Maharaj, you are suffering due to your past karmas.
Okay. We could say it's due. Is it their fault that they're suffering? In other words, you're saying it's their fault.
Therefore, they are suffering, yes.
Yeah. Might not be appreciated by the common public. They might argue. Yogita, what would you like to say?
Gurudev.
I'm sorry, I don't hear anything. I can't hear anything. Kripasindu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Prabhu, I can't hear anything. I can't hear what happened. What happened there?
We can hear you, Maharaj.
Well, that's all right, but I want to hear what they're saying.
I think everyone is silent, Maharaj.
What was Yogita saying? Yogita was
Gurudev,
saying.
now can you hear me? Gurudev, now can you hear me?
Okay, speak up.
Okay. Gurudev, I was saying that all our living entities' needs are being met. It's only the wants that we have due to our greed that we feel it's incomplete. Otherwise, we all are very much complete because all the needs with Lord's mercy are being met.
Well, that's not true because there is a lot of poverty. There are people who don't get the needs. Not everybody will accept it. You say like that. You may have your needs, but there's a lot of other people, they don't have what they need. You know, they're in great difficulty. They struggle to get one meal from one day to the next. Why? Now, often we could say that these difficulties, these problems which are there, they're not due to God, but they're due to man. That we ourselves, we are responsible. We have created so many troubles for people. Our mismanagement of the planet and how we're very greedy and we're always trying to exploit and take advantage of other people. We make life very difficult for other people. That's one of the problems. People are not very God conscious. They're not very sharing. They don't have the vision to see God within everyone and have any compassion or kindness for others. And we create a lot of the difficulty for people. This is the problem. So this is how I would argue against it anyway. Of course, as Ram Gopinath said, it can be also their karma, but we're instruments in that, you know, that we put people into all these difficulties. Okay, time is nearly over tonight. We'll be going on tomorrow night. Is everyone happy? Am I going too fast or too slow or what?
Just nice.
Perfect.
Just nice, Maharaj.
You're okay?
Yeah, perfect, Maharaj.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Maharaj,
Okay.
yes.
So we'll continue tomorrow night. We'll go on with this first invocation mantra. We have to go through it. Please look over the questions. Let's have a look actually before we finish here. Oh. There are questions. I sent you all questions. Did you get the questions, the open book questions? And this
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, so you should look over them. And you see the questions there. Make sure you can answer them. And if you're not able to answer them, then you tell me, and we'll discuss the points more.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. We'll stop
here.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you,
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes.